In this video, I want to talk to the man who's in a marriage with a woman who gets upset. Can you relate? Maybe you've got a girlfriend and she gets upset about things. Maybe she gets upset about the environment. Maybe she gets upset about politics. Maybe she gets upset about animal cruelty. Maybe she gets upset about misogyny. Maybe she gets upset about the things that you do. Maybe she gets upset about the things you don't do. Maybe she gets upset about a lot of things. You know what our job is when she gets upset? Nothing. Our job is to listen, to hold space, to be able to recognize and observe that she's got something going on, and to not make it about us, to not make her thing our thing. And in fact, it's important for us to hold space and be able to be okay when she's not okay, because that creates emotional safety. It creates trust. It allows her to be able to have her feelings without it affecting us, without us needing her to be different for us to be okay. And this is something that's huge. It's something that I didn't really understand. I spent 20 plus years of my life and my marriage trying to get people to be happy, trying to get people to be different, trying to get people to not be upset so that I could be okay. I grew up in a home where there was alcoholism, there was domestic violence, there were a lot of 2 a.m. mornings. In fact, I would watch the clock and keep track of all the quarter-hour movements of the clock hands, so that if the cops ever showed up, I'd be able to tell them exactly what times the altercation went down, what time the bad stuff happened. And that kind of drama, that kind of trauma creates in you a sense of unease, a dis-ease, of uneasiness, of unsettledness when other people are upset. But here's the thing: we have to uncouple, disconnect. We have to retrain our nervous system to be okay when someone else isn't okay, because that other person is a whole other person. They have their own thoughts and feelings. They have their own desires for themselves. They're just as confused as everybody else. They don't have any sort of secret owner's manual. And their mood, their expression of feelings doesn't really mean anything about our safety, our security, our certainty. We're grown people now, right? We're not children anymore. We can actually make choices for ourselves. We got car keys and credit cards and the ability to make choices for ourselves. We're not dependent on them anymore. We're not powerless. We're not choiceless. So this is where we get to make some choices for ourselves. And the choice that we can make for ourselves is to take a step back and look at that person and in our own mind, observe and say, looks like they've got something going on. And stay grounded and stay calm and stay pleased and know that their mood does not affect our mood, that we can be okay when they're not okay. In fact, my mentor, Steve Horseman, over at Good Guys to Great Men, loves to say, okay, Cupcake, I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Do you need anything? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's an old adage that says the person has to get glad in the same pants they got mad in, right? It may sound a little patronizing, but it's true. They're responsible for their feelings. They're responsible for their emotions. They're responsible for their thoughts, and they're responsible for getting themselves back into a reasonable state where they can interact with people and be presentable in public. It's not your job to manage or control their feelings. It's only your job to manage yourself. It's only your job to get a handle on yourself and be okay when they're not okay. So if you need help with that, you want to talk more about that, you want to know what that looks like, you want to understand more about it, what it means to retrain your nervous system, I can certainly help you with that. Reach out. I'll put a link in the description. Let's talk. There was something that I had to work through for myself. And I got to tell you, now there's less for me to do. When somebody's upset, I can just hold space. I can just be there with them. I don't have to take on their feelings and their emotions. And it leaves me feeling calm and confident and grounded inside. And I know that I can take care of myself and that I'll handle whatever comes up if it comes up. All right, brother, that's what I have for you today. Talk to you soon.